On today's episode of What the Actual Fuck, Missouri is trying to pass a bill that would require women who miscarry to be investigated for murder. The bill is called the Abolition of Abortion in Missouri Act. It's SB 354. It would enable murder charges for anyone receiving an abortion. But listen up. Persons accused of committing an offense against the laws of the state under Chapter 565, where the victim is an unborn child, shall be prosecuted. Oh, it specifies murder, the offense of murder where the victim is an unborn child and the defendant is the child's mother. They make one exception in the case of a mother's life. However, it requires physicians to do all reasonable alternatives to save the life of the unborn child. And they have to be attempted unsuccessfully before the abortion is performed. Do you remember a few weeks ago when that woman who needed an abortion for her molar pregnancy, the one that would never turn into a baby, was told to wait in an Oklahoma City parking lot outside the hospital until she was crashing? And when the hospital staff was interviewed, they said that they would do anything to keep the baby alive, even if they had to use the mother as an incubator. But that's not even the scariest part. Person includes a human being, including an unborn child at every stage of development from the moment of fertilization until birth. And if we're starting at fertilization, you should know that 2/3 of all human embryos fail to develop successfully. And 1 in 4 women will have a miscarriage in the first 3 months. There is no exception for assault or incest. There's no exception for the young age of a child that could be put through a pregnancy. Oh, that last one doesn't surprise me considering who introduced the bill. Senator Mike Moon, who a few weeks ago stated that 12-year-olds should have the ability to get married and that he personally knew a pregnant 11-year-old who turned out fine. If this bill passes, it will affect your right to birth control. It would probably ban IUDs. And if you have a miscarriage, you better be prepared to testify in court, because otherwise, if you cannot prove that the miscarriage was out of your hands, you could get charged with murder. You think that can't happen here in America? Well, in my state, a 20-year-old woman named Brittany Poolaw was in prison for 4 years after being convicted of manslaughter, even though the fetus was not viable. And she's still in prison. Also, you should know that this is an Emergency Act bill, meaning upon its signing and passage, it will be law. On the same note, Missouri is doing nothing to improve paternity leave, child care affordability, welfare programs, in fact, they're cutting food stamp assistance, or the foster care system, where a lot of these unwanted children will end up. Missouri cares so much about kids that they will imprison their mothers if they have a miscarriage.